Hey Bjorn,
Hey, Mike.
how's it going?
All right. Thanks.
Lovely stuff. Let me introduce you to the gang here. Can you see us?
Yeah.
Lovely. I'll just step out of the way. This is the course here. I'll turn the lights on so you can say hello.
Oh.
How are you? Yeah.
You're slightly blurry, but you can just about see you.
Okay, smashing. Can we do the screen share thing we discussed
Oh, yeah.
before?
Yes. Let us see. Shared screen. I've done it.
Lovely stuff. And are you taking the option to hide your face? You're more than welcome to. If you'd rather we focus on your wonderful work.
Well, so then I can just
You
tonight, whatever you think is best.
It's fine with you, mate. I like the mystique of it all.
Yeah. Maybe like Banksy.
Maybe you are Banksy. We'll have to figure that out later. Okay, well that's good. This is a bit meta now because we can see two screens and your work. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, lovely. How are you today? You well?
I'm all right. Yes, I'm good. It's a bit cold here in Bristol, but hang on. Technical difficulties.
No worries, man.
Yeah, I'm good. Just trying to get all these screens in order. There we go.
Yeah, don't let them win.
Cool.
So an average day for you then, in terms of leaving home and heading to the studio. Do you have like a routine that you try to work with every day?
Yeah, I kind of cycle to work every day and be normally in just before 9 o'clock.
Right.
Because that's when there's a coffee shop on the corner that opens at 9 o'clock.
Nice,
and,
okay.
Always start the day with a fresh cup of coffee.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Any breakfast? Anything with that? Some like flapjack or some croissants, perhaps?
I eat breakfast at home.
Right.
Normally just toast with some sort of ham.
Ham.
Eat a lot of bread.
Right. Nice.
Bread. Yeah.
Good times. And how long have you been practicing freelance as an illustrator?
Well, I think it's coming up to roughly sort of 12, 13 years now.
Wow, fantastic.
More or less full time. I've had sort of part-time jobs and stuff in the beginning. But since I moved to Bristol in 2004.
Right.
And I worked in Paper Chase for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. But then after that, so since 2005, basically,
Wow.
I've been pretty much 100% freelance.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And can you just like briefly summarise like the journey you've taken then from leaving school up until this point? Have you been through like educational programs or what's your journey been?
I studied illustration in Falmouth.
Right.
School of Arts in late 90s, 1998. I graduated in 2001.
Right.
And then before then, I didn't really know what illustration was, really. Like, the education I got in Norway was very, very non-existent, actually.
Okay.
Like, drawing was always my passion when I was a kid, and that's like the one thing that I was sort of good at.
Yeah.
But in terms of sort of facilities and stuff at school, like it was nothing. We didn't have any A levels or anything you could specialize in art. I did a foundation course,
Okay.
which was like a sort of evening class, really without any facilities either. Just a sketchbook and just learn color theory and stuff like that. My sort of main I have a shady past. Like when I was sort of 13, 14, I just got really into doing graffiti.
Okay, can we have a look?
That?
Yeah, nice. Amazing.
That's neat.
Right, okay.
So yeah, we had a posse. We're basically living in a well, we imagined that we were living in the Bronx
Yeah.
in the early 80s in New York, but in fact we were actually living in this kind of forest. Southern Norway.
It's amazing. So were you painting on trees and things? You know,
We're painting on now. There's loads of those kind of bridges going across kind of what do you call it, like cross country ski routes.
Right.
So
Okay.
sort of just any there was a few sort of concrete structures around. That's where we spend all our time and money.
Tag 'em up.
Yeah.
Good times. So from there to what you're doing now, can you recognise like key points in your development as an illustrator that's maybe that led you to what you're doing now? I mean, did you leave university knowing what you wanted to do?
I think by that point, yes. Like in university, I got introduced to what I found. You know, obviously, I was like a sponge, kind of ripping off all sorts of styles, and I got really into American illustration,
Nice.
the American illustration annuals,
Yeah.
and like print magazine, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just discovered this is kind of. I think the internet was just about kind of starting to get okay at the time, but there wasn't any blogs or anything like that. There was a few random websites around, but so the library was like my main source of inspiration. So yeah, I sort of discovered a company or some people in America called Yeehai Industries who do everything on letterpress with like lino cuts and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And really, that really kind of, I don't know, that's just really inspired me to, I don't know, I guess maybe sort of, I guess that's sort of what made me think that it was okay to have sort of a certain sense of humour lurking in your work, which is something I can't really seem to escape very often, even now. So I did some liner cuts in college, and this is a CD cover I did for a band I was in, and I left.
Amazing.
So yeah, at college, a lot of the stuff that I was into in college, it was all kind of painterly stuff, like French children's books and sort of American illustration stuff. So this is the picture I did in last year at college.
Right. Okay.
For like a sort of book that we kind of published in my year. Like everyone did a picture based on fish because it was like Falmouth was a fishing village and stuff. So, so my work was kind of like that, and I was really quite slow. Like it took me like, you know, probably a good week to do a picture. So when I tried to sort of translate that into doing commissions and stuff, it was a bit of a, I don't know, I just ended up doing some really preposterously bad work that I've, quite ashamed of stuff that I did sort of after I left college. Really terrible.
So were these pieces completely, like that thing we're looking at the moment, the Fish Boutique, that's all painted, is it?
Yeah, well, I kind of, there's a few sort of collage elements, like I sort of, well actually it's only really this border thingy here that you can see, but I found all these magazines, that's another thing. When I, in the summer holidays, I used to work at a rubbish dump in Norway, and I came across like a massive pile of old sort of magazines from the 40s and 50s.
Amazing.
And they're just full of, you know, like, they're just really beautiful, like the colour schemes and the way they're printed, but also like the way the articles are written and the adverts especially, they're all kind of, this kind of sense of this kind of naive optimism to it, and it's all kind of trying to make people think that you can sort of like get massive muscles really easily without any effort, or make loads of money without barely lifting a finger. Just all you have to do is just send in for these kind of coupons.
So are you saying as like a you discovered almost like a world, like an imagined world in these adverts and stuff that you?
Yeah, I just really like the sort of involuntary sort of humour in them, I guess. Just this kind of I don't know, like this kind of lack of irony, I I guess.
Yeah.
which kind of makes you, I don't know. If you take yourself a bit too seriously, you kind of end up looking a bit silly, and that's kind of this is some of the pictures I did sort of after leaving college, based on that's actually that's me when I was a kid. That's my childhood vision of myself as sort of heavy metal star.
Amazing.
So I just make all the stage costumes for myself. I was only 7 at the time, so like I knew I had to be a bit older to be a credible musician. So this is kind of my vision of myself in the future. And
it's good to have a plan.
Anyway, I've sort of lost my thread.
No, it's fine. I wanted to ask you a bit more about the kind of tone and voice of your current practice, because it seems like it still plays on that rhetoric you found in those magazines. There's still like the work I've seen you make recently seems to have like there's a world that you've created, you know, like that's very much your world. The kind of the charm and the signature, I suppose, in your aesthetic is very much like idealistic and very kind of jolly and positive, but there's something real world and human in there as well. Does that seem okay?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're just sort of longing for this kind of more innocent time, I guess.
Yeah.
Somehow, I can show you one of my favourite projects from last year, I guess.
That'd be great.
Which kind of came on the back of this book I did for Nobrow a few years ago, which was a book called The Wolf's Whistle, which is basically I won't go into too much detail about that, but it's kind of like a prequel to the fairy tale of the Three Little Pigs.
Right.
So it's like the pigs were the bad guys. They were these kind of property, like corrupt slum landlords and sort of property developers, and whereas the wolf was the innocent sort of victim of their greed. But anyway, so this was kind of inspired by. I did it all it was all printed in spot colours in red, just primary colours really.
Yeah.
Kind of inspired by this kind of Bauhaus style, sort of architectural drawings that I just really like.
Amazing.
Just really like the sort of graphicness of these.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, I tried to sort of. So I wanted it to look a bit graphic, but at the same time, I really. You know, I wanted to sort of try and tell a story and have a bit more atmosphere as well. So I wanted to sort of mix it up with this kind of film noir sort of feel that I really like. Like, this is one of my favourite films. So yeah, I sort of mixed those two and kind of got this kind of weird sort of feel, like a mix of, I don't know, Bauhaus and
film
noir.
Amazing.
And so that's a few years ago since I did that now, but I got a phone call from a person who's setting up a restaurant in London. It's called Jackson and Rye.
Okay.
And he basically seen this that book in a window bookshop, and he was the whole restaurant is kind of American inspired. The menu is kind of classic American food, and but the sort of the interior design is really kind of made to sort of have that sort of feel of like the 1940s, I guess, with like specially designed ceiling fans and clocks, and the bar and everything is really, really nice the way it's actually turned out. But he kind of didn't want it to just be like a pastiche of like the 40s. I didn't want it to be like a theme park. He kind of wanted it to look a bit kind of contemporary and fresh at the same time. So he was kind of inspired by those the no-brow concertinas that they do, and he sort of wanted to have a menu like a concertina. But basically, like just kind of something along the lines of that wolf's whistle, like with he wanted the logo on the front, on like a little ring thing, and apart from that, I could do pretty much whatever I wanted to do. So I met him in London, and it's not that often I have meetings anymore,
Yeah.
Like everything's normally just on email and stuff. So it was nice to actually get to meet the client for a change. And it was good because it kind of cleared away some misunderstandings that I had, because he told, like, one of his the people who worked for him had sort of given me these kind of ideas for stuff I should sort of think about, and they sort of given like all sort of breakfast at Tiffany's and that kind of stuff. So I looked up. I think they wanted it to be like, I got the idea that they wanted it to look a lot more kind of glamorous, a bit more sort of classy. But then when I met him, he just wanted me to make some like cool characters and kind of have fun with it. So
it's such a nice brief, because it seems to, I think you can still sense that film noir thing that you were just describing in The Wolf's Whistle coming through.
Yeah.
It seems like an imagined world, and yet it references lots of kind of, I suppose, devices and symbols that we associate with a certain period and place, which is great. It's such a really great brief.
It was great. I mean, I did a lot of research and stuff into kind of hairstyles and sort of dress, and clothing and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I sort of that's what I always do when I get a project. I sort of do loads of research on all the details, and then I just dress up, and I just make up all these characters and kind of dress them in.
Okay, well, that's great, because that's kind of the next thing I wanted to ask you about, was like that balance of what in your work is personal and imagined and born from visual play, and then what comes from you like researching and observing what's around you. Is there like, do the two things coexist, or is there more focus on one than the other? Could you... Maybe, I suppose I'm getting to like perhaps how personal projects just inform commercial projects.
Yeah. I lost my line of thought now.
No worries, sorry man, I asked stupid questions.
No, it's a good question, but it was so long that I forgot the beginning. I finished.
My students are used to that.
It's definitely a mix. They definitely blend into each other. I mean, something. When I think of ideas, I tend to just sort of have real brainstorms and just kind of just try and get the ideas down on paper first, and then once I have arrived at once I kind of know what I'm doing, then I research the details, kind of thing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I tend to sort of, because you kind of know, like, even though, with when you think of the 40s, like everyone's seen films and stuff based in the 40s, and everyone has this kind of subconscious kind of feeling of what that period is like.
Yeah.
So I kind of, so I could kind of do this, and without doing the research really, but I kind of feel. I lost my thread now.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Are there details in that image we're looking at that you think were definitely informed by research? Even just looking at pictures of specific details?
Yeah, like say, like this woman here, for instance. I mean, I take the research and then I sort of break it down to sort of fit my own agenda, my own shapes.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like that dress. And stuff like animals and stuff. I'm not, I don't draw enough like giraffes to kind of be able to draw a giraffe without just kind of looking at a reference.
Yeah, sure.
For instance. So yeah, it's elephants I can draw without any.
Well, it's a good skill. Could we have a look at perhaps some other pieces of work that aren't commercial but more driven just by your own play? Or
yeah. Let me see. We talked about this one earlier, which was based just something I did myself. Really, did no client, no deadline or anything like that. It's really important for me to just have time to kind of just play and have fun with it and have time to just do pictures where you can afford to mess it up and have to throw it away, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
That's a really complicated image, Bjorn. When I look at it, there's so much going on there. It's amazing. We've been talking about value and like balancing value, like greys and blacks and whites in an image. Like, that seems like quite a balanced image in terms of the use of like darks and lights. And did you plan that, or did that sort of just come about through testing? And
well, it was kind of like I don't really do really detailed roughs. Like I just kind of I kind of feel like when you do like proper detailed roughs, it sort of loses a bit of that sort of spontaneity that you got when you originally conceived the idea just as a tiny thumbnail. So I sort of go directly from, I don't know, like I showed you this earlier, I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but I don't know, is that on a separate screen? Or?
I'm not sure. We can't see your.
I'll see me, alright, no, forget it. I basically started like it's just a tiny thumbnail, and then I kind of just go straight into the actual thing, really.
Amazing.
To try and, you know, yeah.
I really like the balance. Sorry.
I kind of like the idea of I need to sort of get a sense of surprise when I do something.
Yeah.
Like that's the best feeling. I guess that's kind of what drives me on. It's like when you suddenly surprise yourself and do something that you hadn't expected.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of. I guess I'm a bit of like when I used to do painting and stuff, because you can, you know, when you paint with acrylics, you can, you know, if you make a mistake, you can just paint over it.
Yeah.
Again and again, and I just kind of used to sort of, you know, I used to overwork things a lot, and used to spend like days and days painting stuff, and then I would sort of overwork it, and then I'd sort of spend days and days painting over it to try and make it look like I hadn't overworked it. But with this, it's kind of based on this this new technique that I've sort of been developing over the last few years, which is basically just drawing with a scalpel on top of this film, and then using charcoal. And you can't, so you see like the rough, I just sketch it out really rough on the film, and then I sort of cut out shapes with the scalpel, and because you can't really see what you're doing, you don't notice it if you make a mistake. So yeah.
It's amazing.
So it's kind of just, yeah, so you're kind of half blind. You sort of have an idea of what you think it's going to look like, but you always get this, you don't really know until you've removed all the film in the end. So sort of when you get, yeah, so then sort of just kind of setting yourself up for a happy accident, I guess. Because like the mistakes, I don't know, I kind of feel like the mistakes sometimes adds to it. You know, because you get this, get these kind of marks that you know, you changed your mind a bit as you went along.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, and it's not perfect, but in a way that kind of makes it even better, I think.
Yeah.
Because I don't like it, because, like I said, I kind of tend to overwork things. But with this, you know, if you make a really bad mistake, you just have to like, you just have to sort of incorporate it. So I work back over it with ink and stuff, so you kind of, that's another example.
So if I can get this right, the thing we're looking at the moment with the sea creatures in the boat, they are each of those shapes with textures in. Are they individual pieces of scalpeled film?
Yeah, well, I just did them all in one go. That's the thing. Like, I just sort of sketch it all out really roughly.
Yeah.
And then I quite like doing these kind of busy scenes because it's a way of kind of hedging your bets. Hedging your bets.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Because you can kind of like if you just draw one thing, you can get a bit precious about it. Like when it's like a big cluster of things, if they can kind of react to each other and they kind of fulfill each other, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And they so that ended up looking like something like that in the end. So it's just kind of like playing around with, you know, triangles and circles, and then sort of filling in little shapes, and they sort of just kind of getting it to sort of intermingle and sort of dance around. You kind of get some sort of strange movement in it.
Yeah.
After a while.
And an elephant as well. It's nice to see.
Yeah, I try and sneak in this elephant character as often as I can. Sort of had him in pregnancy magazines and
Amazing.
bunch of stuff. So,
have you got any more examples of where you've been playing with process or media that might be interesting?
Well, let's see. Yeah, well, it's this one. I mean, like, this is another thing I do. Like those ones you just saw, like the black and white ones. They're sort of little,
great,
kind of little one-picture narratives in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I also really like just playing with just mark making, really.
Yeah.
And just sort of shapes and basically just using stamps and just all sorts of different materials, masking fluids and just ink and just not really just starting it really. You know, it kind of starts kind of a bit like this, just kind of sketched out.
Yeah.
You know, and I do all that never came to anything, but yeah, they're just kind of building things up sort of bit by bit, and yeah, and you never know what you'll get at the end. 100%.
So for these studies we can see on the right hand side, were you looking at, I mean I can see how playful you're being with the forms, but it looks as though there's like plant life and vases and some organic kind of information that you've used as a starting point. Is that something you just review in brief and then just use that as a bit of a springboard for your own play?
Yeah. I mean, I did. I mean, I'll show you my that's my wife. She worked at Kew Gardens.
Right.
Looking after all these kind of exotic plants.
Amazing.
And cacti and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's tried to sort of encourage me to learn more about how plants actually work. And she says I'm always just drawing bogus plants, and which is right. And I did actually start. I did a lot of research earlier in the year actually for like a concertina for no-brow, which was going to be all based on real flowers and stuff.
Amazing.
It's kind of it's kind of been put on ice a bit because it's sort of it grew into something a little bit different from what we had in mind. Because I think although nature is amazing and everything, it's for me it's like more the sort of the feel of the way plants used to be represented in like the 1800s and stuff. It's like more of a sort of an atmosphere, I guess.
Yeah.
And the sort of having to be complete, having to do something completely botanically correct, as it's not really. I mean, I'd have to do so much research, and people would just be like, "Oh no, this doesn't look like that." And,
And you lose that right to, I don't know. I kind of want to see the two things collide. I like the kind of the adventures you go on when you start throwing in geometry or like a.
Exactly, that's the thing. That's the whole kind of element of surprise and happy accident that really kind of makes it fun. It's not necessarily doing 100% correct botanical illustration.
Amazing.
And a lot of what's interesting with nature isn't necessarily just the way it looks represented like that. Anyway, it's much more complex to do with how plants and animals have or insects have evolved. Over thousands of years or whatever to pollinate and all that kind of stuff. So
I can imagine how it can be restrictive.
So, but it's another example of sort of research and stuff into different types of cacti and stuff.
We've just got a bit of a lag on images, but it's nice because we get a description and the picture comes through a moment afterwards.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Bjorn? I mean, I think just from the perspective of the students here, what's your working process? We've been looking at sort of starting and finishing a piece of work and the stages that you go through. I mean, I know, from seeing just your experimentation, there's a lot of stuff you do, but is there like a recognised order with which you make work?
With commercial work, obviously, or editorials or anything, it starts with me just reading the brief in a cafe, and then just with my sketchbook, just kind of taking notes and just having a brainstorm.
Yeah.
It's kind of the first thing, just trying to get the ideas. Just trying to sort of just get some ideas down on paper. It doesn't, be totally unprecious about it, and yeah, and that's the first step. Then you kind of know when the idea is good. It's a good feeling. Sometimes you do a doodle, you don't even, you're not really properly thinking about it. Something you just do it, and then it's like yeah, and then that just sort of springs onto or it's like oh yeah, I can do something like this, and then suddenly you have the idea, and So that's it all starts with a sketchbook and getting that idea.
Okay.
And then I haven't really got any examples here. Just I can try and find. Examples of a rough, but I don't know. I sort of I've got a tablet that I sort of draw with the tablet and make this a little bit more of a proper rough.
Yeah.
So other people can understand
what
it means, and that's kind of how it starts, and then it just depends on the type of job, really.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
And what the process I do kind of depends. I try and take into consideration what how much time I've got and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what comes through looking at your work. That there's quite a range, although it seems consistent in like your style. There's quite a range of processes and media that you're working with. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, for commercial work, I tend to work digital.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I used to do a lot of painting, but I just always had problems with getting it to scan the way I wanted it.
Yeah.
And it was just I had to buy a new scanner, and it just didn't work. It just didn't scan in the same way as my previous scanner, and it sort of picked up too much light and shade and stuff. And and it often looked really dull in print as well. Like I had a job for it's like a business magazine called Plan Sponsor.
Right.
It's a New York-based magazine that they employ loads of really good illustrators, and when they wanted a painting, and I did that, and and it was kind of like loads of my favorite illustrators were in the same magazine. But like my pictures just come out completely dull and dark and without any contrast, and just like and I never heard from them again. So I kind of feel like I sort of messed up my a good chance for me.
So you had to go and find another way to make the work. Step away from the scanner.
And mainly for for speed and being able to make changes.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like the clients, if you do a painting and it changes, it's a bit of a nightmare. And so this was my favorite job I did last year. It's like a series. So these are all digital. But I always start, always draw with pen and ink.
Right.
It's the starting point. So I draw everything sort of physically first, and then scan it in, and just kind of add texture and sort of. I like working with a limited color palette.
Yeah.
As much as I can, just because it's easier to. It's easier to focus on the actual composition, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't get lost in too many colours.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Bjorn, this is fantastic. Some really nice examples. It's so nice to just see the work on the screen and have the time to really interrogate it. I wanted to ask you just generally, is there anything you would give as advice to a bunch of first-year students? If you think back to the time you had at university, what were the most valuable lessons you learned at the start?
Oh man, it's always such a hard question, I think,
I know it's not fair, is it?
because everyone's so different, and everyone's got like different things they're good at, and different strengths and weaknesses and stuff. I just, like I was thinking, after I went to this offset festival, the weekend,
Yeah.
I just thought I really wish I could have gone to like a thing like this when I was a student, because that would have just sort of been such a insane inspiration to just see the full scope of what's possible and what the sort of standard is at the very very top of the industry, if you like, because you get speakers from all over the world just giving really really great presentations. And yeah, so if I was just, I would just invest in a ticket to Dublin next March, and just
Okay.
just that would be great.
Right, we'll see you there.
Yeah.
All right.
You should get the whole class over. It's really really good fun.
Yeah, we'll do it. I wonder if there's anyone here that wants to ask Bjorn a question. Has anyone got anything they want to say? Yours has been answered. Okay, right. Well, I think we don't want to keep you too long, Bjorn. We've been chatting for 40 minutes. We've been asking everyone the same question to end these conversations. I don't know if you might find it a bit too far out, but we were wondering if you could tell us the difference in your eyes between good illustration and really great illustration.
Okay. Try and take some notes. I guess. Let me think. Whoa. Right. Oh yeah. I think there's often sort of illustration is sort of used like a little bit sort of derogatory, like by other artists, I guess, like by fine art. They kind of look a little bit down on illustration as being just something kind of decorative and something just kind of being a bit twee.
Yeah.
And but I think like sort of great illustration can really be like an art form in its own right. I think I'm not sure if I'm there yet. I'm still trying to work out what I'm doing, but sometimes you just see illustration which is it's not trying to be anything but illustration. It's just kind of like an editorial or a magazine cover, but it's just so well thought out. Like the idea is just so strong and just communicates so well that I don't know, I just think like, yeah, man, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Okay.
Just kind of, I guess sort of it's got to be like a combination of like really excellent technique and the craft and that side of it, but just combined with really good strong ideas, and that's something that kind of makes you see the world a little bit differently.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
I think we've written that down. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll tie it up there. I just want to say thank you. I think we should all. Can we give Bjorn a little round of applause?
Why are you called Matthew the Horse?
Yeah,
I just thought it'd be a stupid name. I thought if you were going to give a horse a name, the last thing you'd call it is Matthew.
Yeah.
And that works for me.
Cool. Yeah.
And I've got hooves. It makes writing emails a nightmare.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bjorn. It's really, really great to meet you and to talk to you. Have a good afternoon and enjoy your weekend.
Okay, and you.
Wave. Cheerio.
Bye.